Yo, YouTube family, what it do? It's your boy D, and we back with another banger. I'm trying to keep these haircut videos coming. Today we're gonna do a drop fade on one of my kid clients, and shout out to his mom for bringing him through. Definitely appreciate the support always. Do me a favor, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and we're gonna get straight into this. So you see I'm already cutting it down. I did a 1.5 type length on the top, and that's just how we're gonna rock out with it. So that being said, we're going to push through this haircut and we're going to really get things going. So with every haircut, I always take my time. I always practice. I always kind of premeditatively just look into the haircut and see where I'm gonna go about it so that I can understand how to approach it, because every haircut is different. Every client's hair is different. Every texture is different. So as you can see, I'm going with the grain and we're breaking that down. And that's the big part about this, is just taking your time, working your way through the haircut, making sure that you have an understanding of what you got and what you're working with. So like I said, we're getting into that. We're cutting it down. Debulking is what I call it. And we're going with the grain. All right, so guys, we're going to first guideline, which is my clipper close. We're going to create that bald guideline. And so we're going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to bald it out. And I'm kind of giving it that drop fade appeal, you could say. Because it's going to be angled once it gets around his parietal ridge and then drops down to the bottom. So that's why it's kind of called a drop fade. And you'll see here, right below that crown and nape area, not too high. And then you start fading into it from there. So you're kind of creating that drop fade look. And this video is kind of longer than my normal ones. I tried to break it down as best as possible to shorten it up, but I wanted to give you guys the full visual of what it's like to do a cut. So this one is about 24 minutes on this video. Not too long, but if you're staying tuned in, you're gonna get the full gist. So what we did to one side, we do to the other. So we're just gonna keep it in format. And then from there, we will bald it out. So we balded it out, and now we're creating that second guideline. That's that clipper open. As you see, I'm pointing to it with my fingers. And like I said, I'm going about doing these videos a little bit different, trying to add little things here and there to make them better. But you can see this is what I'm doing. And so we're going to go halfway with that clipper, and we're going to fade all that out into it to create that bottom of that fade, to make sure it's nice and clean and blended. That's what we want with haircuts. And anytime you're cutting your client, that's what you should want. So just make sure you always do that. So working our way through the motion, I will angle the clipper just because of the way his hair grows a certain type of way. And you can see my guy's on his phone, man. He's so locked in on that phone. I got to get him to hold his head up. So it's part of cutting kids. Got to be patient sometimes, but it's part of it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Take your time. Most importantly, do a quality service. Don't give him, no half junk stuff. You want to give him your all. So, like I said, I'm teaching you through this. Now that clipper is closed, and we're just fading that out. And what you always do to one side, you do to the other. So it's very repetitive. Cutting hair is very repetitive, but ultimately, it is a great skill to have. It is a great skill and a great talent. Not everybody can do it. Some can, some can't. You got to practice and put in the hours. It takes 10,000 hours to master something. So let's get into it, man. Let's really start fading and really just get into the gist of this haircut. So I'm going in there with my Andes Masters, and I'm using a 1 guard, and I'm going with the grain first, and then I'm going to go against the grain. And I'm using a 1 because right after the 1.5 or before is the 1. So that's going to keep everything level to how I want it. We didn't take his top down too low. It's still wavelength, but it matches with the 1. And so we're taking our clipper open and we're fading into that. And so now we are creating another guideline for that. But what we're going to do is what we did before, is work our way through these systems. So what we do is fading into the hair, fading against the grain is what they say, with our one. And then we're creating a lighter weight line. Then we're going to go halfway with that same guard, and then we're going to go close. So what we're doing now is, you see me, I'm just fading into this haircut. And I really, really put time into these videos. So like I said, do me a favor, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you learned something. Please, please, please. I truly appreciate it. Been working on this YouTube, and I'm trying to get it going. And nothing happens overnight. But, you know, I appreciate the support. I really do. So fading into this haircut, really, really doing a detailed haircut. That's the key to all of this, because details matter. You could do a half energy haircut. I was going to say something else, but I don't want to say it. Or you can give it your all. And that's what matters, because when you give it your all, your clients notice, other people notice because they see their haircut. You don't want to give nobody a bad haircut or a not 100% haircut. So we're fading into this. You can see it getting lighter. After every stroke, after every clipper stroke, we fade it out and we brush it, we comb it. And so now we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it with a smaller guard. And the goal is initially to get this to blend into one. So we're using our half guard now, and our half guard's going to create that next level of blend. And essentially for us, that blend just makes it more of a well-balanced haircut when you have that full blend. So you're going from 1.5 to your one guard to your half guard. And then from there, you just fade it up from the beginning of how I showed you in the video. And so you just detail. So that's what we're doing here initially, is we're just detailing the haircut. And in doing such, this is going to put you in a position to be able to really see things at a greater value and understand, you know, okay, now I know what I'm working with. Now I know what I got. You know, let's operate forward and let's move forward with this so that we can make something into nothing. Or something, or nothing into something per se. My bad, guys. So detailing this fade. Watch as after every stroke, I brush it. I brush. I'm detailing it. I'm going through the motions of my clipper, halfway, open, close, blending in that area. And we're working that parietal ridge. So that's like not the front of his head, but like right on the middle of the head, going towards the back of the nape. And the hair may grow one way, so that's why you're going to have to fade a certain way. You'll see me fading a certain way, then switching the angles. So what I'm doing here is I'm continuously brushing. I'm continuously blending. I'm using the tip of the blade to blend in certain areas, and then I'm brushing after every stroke. So we want to make sure that there's no heavy weight line, but there's not also anything interfering with that blend. Okay, y'all, let's get into this and let's really perfect this haircut. So we're fading into it right now is what we're doing. We're still going up, but now we're at the nape of the haircut. And this is where the drop fade is really, really pivotal. And it's just, you got to put an exclamation on it right here and really just make sure you clock in on the trying to make it the drop fade. You don't want to go too high, but you don't want to go too low. So we're right there kind of in the middle, and we're just fading down with it now, with the grain, and then we're going to go against the grain as you see now. So my clipper is open. And my clipper open, I'm just fading out that heavyweight. And you can see it after every stroke, it's disappearing. So you'll see it disappear, and then we'll work our way halfway with that same guard. Halfway, blending that out, making sure that everything is all in one. And so you can see as it transitions from the side of his head into the nape of his head. These are the key points of really making sure a haircut is well balanced. And if it is well balanced, then you're in a point of where you're in a good position so that now you can continue to blend and make this haircut even better. You want it to be well blended. If it's not well blended, you're gonna have issues because you're not really gonna see the haircut for how it should be, which is a well balanced, well blended haircut. That's what your clients are paying for too. So that's what you're going for. And some people won't do the same energy. They won't apply the same. But me, I I'm very thorough with my haircuts, and I'm very well balanced in detail. I make sure that everything I do plays into the part of, okay, let's get the haircut, let's do this, let's make sure it's blended, detailed. You don't always need the whole clipper, so as you can see, I'm using the tip of that blade to blend that out. And after every stroke, no matter what, I comb through the haircut. I'm making sure that it's detailed. If you can make sure that you have the details done, you will never, ever give a bad haircut. I promise you. So cross your T's and dot your I's. So as you can see, I'm using that clipper and I'm fading out that bottom, and I'm going in after every stroke and I'm combing. So the key point now is stretching that skin. As you see, it helps to fade out that line. So as I fade out that line, now I'm creating a newer visible guideline for me to see. So if there's any extra heavy weight, you're going to blend it out. So that's what I'm trying to do here now. And the hair grows at an angle, especially on this drop fade. So this is where we get into the point of, okay, boom, let's stretch the skin. All right, guys. So what we do to one side, we do to the other. So that being said, what I did to the other one, I'm going to do to this side. And it's plain and simple. If it's not broke, do not fix it. So follow the script, stick to the blueprint. You will always put out quality haircuts. So we're fading into this with our one all over again. So we basically restarted, and we're going to do it again, but I'm showing you guys just from a different angle. The hair will grow different ways, so that's what we want. Nothing is going to change. We're going to do the same process. We're just going to pay attention to how the hair grows, and then we're going to work it all together. So fading it out, see how the hair grows after every stroke. I'm blending, I'm cutting, I'm combing, I'm getting the haircut together. We're taking out that excess weight. Remember, I used a 1 so that it blends well with that 1.5. That creates a well-balanced blended haircut. So I'm blending it out, taking all the heavy weight, going through my halfway open and closed motions, blending in the haircut. This essentially helps the haircut become well blended and balanced. So open with it now, in that parietal ridge area, fading that out. Now I'm going to switch real quick, and it's going to go into a halfway mode. And that will key indicator to tell you that, okay, we're working through the progress, but pay attention to how I comb it and the way the hair grows. Because like I said, that is the key portion. It grows differently. So right there at the bottom of the nape, it grows kind of almost at an angle. But once you come over to the right side a little bit more, it comes straight down. These are things that you have to pay attention to when cutting hair, because some people don't understand. If you're not blending the way the hair grows, you're not really blending the hair. You got to go in the direction that the hair is growing to create that blend. So now we're in our half guard, and we're doing the same thing. Brushing, clipper open, blending out that bottom line. Boom. Okay, now we're going to switch more over into this other side. So now it's jumping a little bit just to give you guys a gist, but we're going to do the same thing. And we're still on that right side, but I finished the other side, so now we're just walking through it. You can see where that heavy weight line is right on that side of his head. Guy's getting sleepy on me. So we're cutting it out, blending it out, and that's what we're doing. Trying to create a healthy, balanced haircut. That's what I love about this. I've been doing this so long, guys, and I love it. I truly do. Some people try to steal the joy. Some people don't appreciate it. Some people don't respect it, but that'll never stop me from loving what I do. And it's one of my skills and talents that God has gave me, but I also mastered it. You got to walk by faith. And when I say that, it's deeper than what most people mean. A lot of people will say, oh, I get it, but no, they don't get it. They're not really walking by faith. They're just saying they are. It's a difference. So for me, when I cut hair, I really love what I do. I really mastered the skill, but I walked by faith, but I put the work in to understand that to be great, you have to put the work in to achieve greatness. So we're blending this haircut, guys, off my motivational speed. We're blending the haircut. We got this one right now. We're blending it in. Make sure you comb and brush after every stroke of hair. I do not care. Blend it out. If you do that, you will be fine. Brush it in, blend it out. Brush it in, blend it out. That being said, once you understand how hair grows, hair works, you're kind of looking at it from a bird's eye view. And shout out to Nipsey for that one, because that's always been a bar that's been stuck in my head, man. But you're seeing it from a bird's eye view, so you kind of understand the gist of really cutting hair. But you've mastered the skill set at this point, and you're only getting better. That's what I'm doing. I'm going on maybe 15 years of experience now, guys. I done lost count. I just know I've been doing it a long time. I could show you licenses from 2012. Not 2012. I'm kidding. Like 2016, 2017, 2018. I can show you all my old licenses. So I ain't that old. Black don't crack. All right, guys. So using that half guard, we're fading up into it. And you can see that blend just coming together. Now his hair is a little bit stiffer, so I got to just make sure that I really detail it out. So you can see it coming together more and more and more. Now I'm using the tip of that blade. Some people will say tips of the teeth turned out to your torso. That's what I'm doing when I'm blending it. I'm not using the whole blade. I'm just trying to use half of the blade to cut half of the hair to create a well-balanced blend. It's coming together piece by piece. Cutting hair is a process. It is a step-by-step thing. It's almost like having a blueprint of building a house or building a car. If you have the blueprint, you follow the blueprint, you stick to it step by step, and then you check your details, cross your T's and dot your I's, you will be fine. So my guy's getting sleepy on here, so I'm trying to really get into the motion and finish him up so he can get down and go home and get rested. So we're going to continue to blend this out. See that little heavy weight line right there at the top? That's where my focus is next. So watch. Take that one, and we're going to blend it out. But make sure when you blend, you comb so you can see the weight disappearing. This is pivotal, and I can't stress it enough. I don't care to be better than the next barber. I care about details. I don't care to be the best barbers. I care about details. That's what makes a clean haircut. So, boom, we're finished. We're going to do his design now, and I'm not the best at designs, but I can do a little something. So I'm going to take this step slow by slow, and I'm using a wider T-blade liner because of the design I'm giving him. Something simple, just a little zigzag lightning bolt type thing, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy. Because, again, I'm just not super crazy with designs, nor do I like to take the time to do them because they take time. And then a lot of people just don't understand that the time is the money. And if you're not paying the money, then it's just not worth the time. But essentially, I'm hooking my guy up with this haircut right now. I'm giving him a dope design, and just pay attention to how I use it. I'm using the ends of the blade. I'm not trying to do too much just to work into the design. That way we just create the initial line. These are sharper trimmers, so they're getting the job done, but they're also wider. And it's like using a pencil just to sketch or draw right now. So that's what you want to do. Gently going into it, taking your time, making sure you're really creating the desired look that you want and your client is looking for. That will help create these designs, because designs, they're not easy. You have to be super artistic to do them. And I've seen some crazy designs, but there's some talented people who can do it, and shout out to them. One guy I seen, Rob the Original, shout out to him. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. Dude is immaculate with those designs, and not just on humans. He's done them on horses. So I'm using that T-blade, guys, and I'm just creating this, like I said, zigzag lightning bolt. Nothing too crazy, but this is something that I can do. And it's in my lane. And sometimes I like to float my lane. I don't want to do nothing crazy or extravagant. I will push the box sometimes, but sometimes I don't push the box. I just stay in it and know what I can do and what I excel at. So creating this design, I'm using the tip of the blade. I'm just going through it. I'm making sure that everything is in one line. It's clear and it's not too wide. And you can use the end of those blades sometimes to help you get a better clean designed look depending on the blade that you're using. So something wider, something sharper might make a bit of a difference. So those things take into consideration when you're doing your design, guys. If you don't mind, please like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm. Please, please, please. I'm trying to grow this. Like I said, I appreciate if you're tuned in. I really do. So using the tip of that blade, we're using like a pencil sketch. I told you guys, we're going to take our time and we're just going to sketch with it using the tip of the blade, and then we'll get to a part where we'll use the whole blade. That way it helps create the design, but we're not overextending and we're not shortcutting ourselves. So as you can see, I'm just using it to kind of sketch my way through, make sure that everything is clean. And it's a nice looking design. So we're getting towards the end of this. Again, I'm gonna say it. Please like, subscribe, comment, please, and thank you. And just pay attention to the details, guys. All right. Okay, guys. So we're getting near the end. We're gonna do the hairline now, and this is one of the most key components of this haircut is the hairline. So like I always tell you, start from the middle, work yourself left to right. Whichever is your strong suit, start there and go with that and then come back. So for me, I start in the middle and I go left because my left side used to be my weak side. I've perfected it and I'm still perfecting it. I'm only getting better. So that being said, I'm working my way across and I'm keeping everything in line with the other. So I'll always go left and then I'll come back to the middle and then I'll go left again and then I'll work my way around through this lineup. And same for the right side. If it's not broke, don't fix it, but make sure that you master your craft and master your skill. Repetition is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher, and that's what matters. So that being said, I'm doing it. I'm working my way through this haircut, and we're going to finish strong. So we're going to do his vertical bars after we come across this lineup. So I'm staying in the format of where I originally started from the middle, and I'm working my way to that right vertical bar. Now, using the wider portion of the blade, I'm going to create that vertical bar, but while I'm in that corner, I'm only using the tip of that teeth. Now, that's when you start to really understand, okay, cool. Look at how I comb it. I'm combing the hairs out so that I can create his long vertical bar. And that is a key component to doing lineups, creating vertical bars, creating crispy lineup. It's not easy. Everybody's head shape is different, but if you can understand it, you will get better, you will progress, and you will create more crispy, clean lineups. That being said, pay attention to how I use just the tip of the blade. I got to have a control on his head. I got to have him awake. So that's a key component. Take your time with it. Really practice, really pay attention to the details. Learn to use the tip of the blade. And it's a progressive thing, man. It's not nothing that comes overnight, but once you kind of master it, you get it. And then combing after every stroke. So we're going to create the C cups, and like I tell you, C cups are just poetry of motion, man. And go with the flow of the poetry of motion. Using the tip of the blade, start from the bottom and work your way around. Once you get to that top of it, that C cup, use the opposite end and create it. It's all about understanding and having a comfortable feel on the blades, not overdoing it, not underdoing it. If you can do that, you will be okay. So that being said, guys, let's get more into this haircut because we don't have too much longer. I'm going to finish this design up and open it up a little bit more to where I want. I'm still using a wide tooth blade. I'm just using my Babyliss Pro trimmers. Nothing has changed. I'm just finishing that up, detailing it out, and details matter. And you see how the design came out. Pretty crispy, pretty clean. That's what I'm looking for. So a little razor work here. I haven't showed you these guys before. Make sure you stretch the skin, pull the skin the opposite way, create a clean line. Just come with the grain. Not with the grain, I'm sorry, guys. Going against the grain, slowly but gently. And touch is key. Touch is always key. So, finished product, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. This is the aftermath. Clean haircut. Nothing too crazy. Clean design. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, thank you for tuning in, y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. It's your boy D. Much love. Stay blessed.